Here are 3 tips to turn things around when nothing is going your way. I know when somebody's stuck is when they're saying that I feel like I have no time, my energy is depleted, I feel like I'm living, but I'm actually not moving anywhere with my purpose or my potential. There's a lot of stagnation, or honestly, I just feel like I'm dead, but I also am alive at the same time. You're not alone, and you do not have to stay stuck. There's a difference between a contracted energy versus expanded energy, and I'm going to show you how to get there. So step 1, it's not your fault. So if you found that you're a good person, but yet bad things are happening to you, what you might find is the ones that have the biggest hearts are usually the ones that feel like they are suffering the most in their life. And if you have come from a place of rejection or neglect or abuse or trauma or even just self-doubt within your own self, maybe you had the perfect upbringing, but yet your own environment and your side yourself was not as safe, then you'll find that you're going to be in a constant struggle even into your adult life. So step number 1 is I want you to think about validating your pain instead of resisting it. And that's when you're going to start taking back control, because you're going to stop internalizing the blame, but now you're going to start to break free from patterns that aren't actually yours to carry. So an example of this is somebody that's trying to lose weight. And if they keep looking at the mirror and they keep telling themselves, well, I've let myself go. Why did I do this? Why me? You know, all that type of negativity, that's going to be a contracting type of energy. Call it a low vibration. And to get a different outcome by expecting something more expansive or positive is going to be impossible. Laws of physics, look at neuroscience, look at NLP, look at anything possible that when you're in that state, you can't have a positive state. And so when we learn to know where we come from, accept the trials, the things that we've come from, and the secret here is being able to reframe that question that we have going on with our mind. So instead of like, why me? Why me? Like think of like your brain is like, it's going to like be the dog and you're going to throw the ball, right? So the question is, why me? You're throwing the negative ball. The dog's going to go chase it, and there's nothing good that's going to come from the trailing down of why me. But instead, if we go into a place of, what do I need to see? Or what is the opportunity this is going to create? What's the sign that I need to get out of this? That is more of an expanding question that we ask ourselves. And the brain is going to go do the research to go find out, how can I then pull myself out of this? Rather than go down the spinning negative spiral, nothing good comes from that. Step number 2 is learning how to rewire your mind, because your brain gets stuck into survival mode. So we actually think that our brain is designed to make us happy, but in fact it isn't. It's actually wired to keep you more safe. And safety means to repeat the same old patterns, even if they're painful, even if it's doom and gloom, because it's familiar. And so maybe you even had a wonderful child upbringing, but yet if you had created self-doubt and self-limiting beliefs inside of your environment within you, then that is going to be more of the familiar. Your body and your brain are chemically going to be more hardwired to say, that feels more safe than joy, peace, and happiness. Alternatively, let's say you had a pretty rough upbringing as a child. What happens is, as a child, what we're going to do is provoke and distort that our parents or whatever it is that our upbringing was, we have to make that safe in order to feel okay in our environment. So what we do is we internalize us as the bad ones. And so either or, you're going to always notice that there's going to be an inner dialogue, like an inner communication or filter system that we program ourselves to become. And generally, you're going to find there's a lot of buried limiting beliefs that are lies, but we are feeling those, we're acting on them, and our outcome becomes from those. Why this works is because your reticular activating system is a filter. And when you can start to reprogram that, which actually is so much easier than you think. A lot of people are over here in actions outcome, which is draining 30 to 50% of their time and their energy. And that's where they're getting stuck, but yet they keep waking up every day, constantly trying, constantly working hard. But finding what's easier is actually going to the thoughts and being able to rewire those by coming into more of the expansion way of thinking. The first step is being able to rewire the question. Then the second part is being able to actually feel those emotions, even though they might be foreign. So inviting joy, peace, and love into your life now, even though they might feel foreign. Then what's going to happen is automatically your emotions are going to shift. From there, automatically your actions are going to change, and automatically your outcome's going to be different. And what's great about that for those that it's like, well, that sounds woo-woo, Danita. But if you love more of like you're activating your left side of your brain and liking to have like truth, then physics is something that's really helped me through this journey. Because when you lean towards physics and you get to see that there's actually like energy attracts like energy, Or when Albert Einstein explains how in order, whatever outcome that you want, you have to match the frequency to that, and there's no other way, but you'll get it that way. It's not philosophy, it's physics. That to me is what helped me be able to kind of lean on some sort of structure so it didn't feel woo-woo. So here's the action that I want you to do here. It's almost like you have to kind of speak to that survival part of you. And how I would do it is I would say, hey, you know what? Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Thank you for trying to support me the best way that you knew how by allowing me to continue to keep feeling the doom and gloom on repeat over and over. But guess what? I get to now choose. I get to now choose a higher vibration. I accept joy right now. I don't have to have an end result or an end outcome to feel it. I get to invite this emotion into me now. Peace. Breathe that in. Feel that higher frequency now, not waiting. Love, purpose. Invite these emotions in as a new emotional home and remind your survival brain it's safe for me to feel these. Oftentimes it can be very difficult for us that might be providers or protectors, or we're nurturers or we're caregivers, to want to selfishly put ourselves first into this place. And so what I recommend for those that they find themselves more of like the selfless route, they're always wanting to give to others, to be the coach, to be the nurturer. My recommendation is to know the ripple effect. The ripple effect is being able to, when you align yourself, is when you become, there's a balance that happens then with everybody around you. There's an influence of then the boundaries that you're going to set. And those boundaries, instead of saving someone, you support someone, which gives them the ability and the strength to step into their power rather than in a way we were almost weakening them before. And so it really starts to create this ripple effect. And you don't really know until you're there, and then you get to see it, but life becomes so much easier in this place. Our kids are going to be influenced by this. Our future generations, our past generations, our job, our coworkers, our spouses, like everything becomes a stem from the balance and from this alignment that you become. So if you feel like you can't do it for yourself, I want you to think of somebody in mind right now that you want to inspire in your life, somebody that might be struggling that's around you, and indirectly they're looking up to you. They're looking at you like if you can change, maybe it's possible for them to change, because often as parents, we want our children to change for us, and then we'll be happy, right? But what I find is that our children, like they look at us as the creator. We created them. And so if we can show them our rock bottom moments, but then also we got out of it, that inspires them to say, well, I can do that too. So think of something or someone that you'd like to be that ripple effect for. And don't trust me. I recommend trusting physics in this. And I'm going to prove just a little bit more how this works. So when you think about our nervous system, think about like almost like this spider web of nerves that's connecting to everything from like your metabolism to your vascular system, to your inflation of your lungs, to your middle ear turning on, to absolutely everything within your body. And so by choosing the state that we're in, by having that higher frequency, by accepting that joy, peace, love, or expanded energy, what happens is then you're going to find automatically within your body things are going to start to shift. This is where your vascular system starts to open. Your lungs inflate more oxygen. Your middle ear turns on so you can deeply listen. This is going to activate more oxytocin for the relationships in your life to feel seen, heard, and authentically expressed. You're just going to see naturally this like momentum happening because of the nervous system that is affecting everything within the human body. And when you get to the core of things, to me, like that is what makes everything so much easier. Like I had to dig and dig and dig to get to the foundation. And often people think like it's so hard in order to do that and all that type of stuff. Actually, no. What's hard is wasting our time, wasting our energy, wasting all of our hard work, working all these hours, but yet going in the wrong direction or making costly mistakes or imbalancing our hormones because we're always stressed out or never being able to lose the weight because we're always in a state of fight or flight. And so when you learn that balance in alignment is going to be the foundation to anything and everything as far as success, all you have to think about it is just as simply as this. You're either operating in a contracting energy or you're operating in an expanding energy. You cannot be in both at the same time, and it's your choice. You cannot get something to then feel that. You have to be able to get that in order to get that. if that makes any sense. But to me, I just love to simplify it for people and use the laws of physics and neuroscience and reteach them ways that they can really reprogram themselves so they can get a consistent, successful, abundant, joyful, peaceful, happy life that they truly deserve. And I know you can get it. All you have to do is learn this hack. Step 3 is going to be the ripple effect, about how energy can work for you and not against you. And when you apply these 3 steps, what you're going to find is that you're automatically going to step into more of that joy, peace, happiness version emotion from you. And then from there, you're going to find you're going to see things like financial freedom, the expansion of being able to lose weight faster, or being able to have your hormones more balanced. Like everything is going to be a ripple effect from this because it's the foundation. Just as an example, take Whitney here for a moment, and she was not only having like physical health problems, but also her relationship was starting to really go downward. Her weight was really being a problem. She was noticing that every aspect of her life was starting to crumble. And it wasn't until she applied these 3 steps that she was able to find that weight loss becomes so much easier. She noticed that every time she'd go to the doctor or the ER and things like this, and there was no solutions, she finally found the solution in this, was able to finally get recovery and actual true healing and health. And then also, just as a ripple effect, she saw her relationship thrive and even a lot of prosperity and financial abundance in her business. And this is just one of thousands I've been able to witness and be a part of. If this excites you and you feel like you've done everything else in your life except for this, then I'm looking for people that are fully on board, meaning like they are so over the insanity loop by constantly doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If you're really at that stage in your life where you're drawing the line in the sand and you're saying, I'm fully ready for that version of me, I'm ready to live a life and not being reactive anymore, I'm ready to fully take back control and really step into this version of myself I know that I can get to, and being able to overcome that survival brain that's actually really holding you back, then go ahead and click below. I have a complimentary call where we can jump on a call and see if this is a good fit for you. I want to hear your story. I want to know where you're at, what contraction you might be in right now, and where you might feel like it's a hurdle, where you might feel like it's hard, but I'm going to show you the easiest way, simplify this so you can get the fastest way to your success.